To call. Pie?
Phone up, secret? Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Sorry. We won't be seeing them for another 6 months, even at that.
Leon is probably going to come back here and kill you.
Hey, Leon, bring it on, big
I thought
man.
they were your security force.
Sure.
They're just not going to protect you. There's no way to stop you. Mira is the first defender removed on alongside Maverick and Capitao as we head to Clubhouse. Obviously, this was where we found ourselves previously today, and it's a common staple. And there's a common ban to be removed as well. Maestro allows yourselves a little less control across that top side. And just, you know, there's a bit of a difference now at this point.
So pretty standard. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Thermite and Habana open. Does kind of lean in, I think, towards attacker favored now, more than anything. Whenever we see like Habana and Thermite, even just like Thermite being gone, I think really limits you. Maverick, yes, is kind of like atypical ban, but for the most part, it's okay. Like, it really doesn't really hinder you that often. So looking at the attacking lineup, what have they brought in? So double hard breach expected. There's the Thatcher as well to counter off any Electro Claws or Bandit charge that there might be. I thought we were going to see the Jackal being stuck, but then again, Valkyrie and Echo is both on the board. Do you ever really want to leave that risk?
No, it's...
Do you take that deal? I would take that.
I mean, it's one of those kind of trades, really. You got to look at the situation. You got to look at what you can kind of bring and how you can kind of stop what you think might be brought, and that's one of those kind of unending questions in Siege. NaVi kind of still opting for not the initial points that they seem to go to. Obviously, they took the split point in the previous map. They didn't take Bar, which is, you know, often seen as the similar kind of position there, but they have opted for Gym, and this is usually the third bomb site. This is usually the one that you come to after you've taken the other two, and I guess that's NaVi confidence, because in their heads, they're going to be here anyway in 2 rounds, so they may as well get here now.
NaVi are very strong on Gym. Their Gym defense, I think, is pretty ludicrous, the way that they kind of have the whole setup below. They rely heavily on how their C4s are played. Nello generally is the kind of last person we see fall, because he always stays below the C4. Not a lot of teams actually want to go downstairs to clear a bar. They see it as too much effort to kind of use utility, put yourself at a risk. They just try and force their way into bomb sites. That doesn't work if their C4 is lurking below. No cash room setup, though, so that does give MnM their setup. They want to try and push in towards that side. And if NaVi are giving them that, then MnM are like, oh, let's get in quick enough, guys, and try and give us a little bit more breathing room.
Well, MnM, they're quick to start opening walls, but yet again, they're strategically slow in terms of making anything kind of come from it. Obviously, when they were in Clubhouse earlier, it swung to a 7-3. They were very, very consistent against it. But as we've seen, their slow and steady playstyle doesn't quite translate into the language of NaVi, who are so consistent in being able to shut it down. There is Pac taking care of Pi as the opener there, as they try and get more and more ground under their feet, and that's a big body to remove from this.
So MnM, they have what they wanted, that is control of their cash. Talked about it, MnM, very strategic team. They will take their time to kind of set everything out in front of them, and then continue with their play. It's up to NaVi to try and disrupt that. Don't give them that accessibility. At the moment for MnM, they're just kind of gearing up their options. They're taking their time, figuring out what is the weak point. Is it going to be walking in towards bedroom? Will it be a quick push in towards Gym? The fact that the diffuser can go both ways. We can see him jump in Gym, we can see him jump in bathroom. Or not bathroom, in towards the bedroom. The only thing they need to worry about is the fact that they have no control of Jacuzzi yet. They don't have that double wall open.
Yeah, and it makes it harder and harder as time goes on, and there's another body to add to the one already on the floor. Drac is low health too. That Thermite isn't going to be as comfortable clearing in, and Habana doesn't get any ground either. Kendrew dug in that shower corner and is unable to be removed, as Citizen on the Bandit is going to double down and try and offer some more support. They've realized that the push is coming from this side. It's inside the building, and they've got to be prepared to be able to shut it down. The man holding that far of red stare, they're aware that he's there, but might not know just how close he is. This could be a pretty big swing, and there he just cuts him in half. No reaction from Nello, but it doesn't need to happen because Citizen is finding body after body in the meantime.
Junker 1v3. Man from Germany, can he make it happen? But everybody from NaVi, they're ready for him. Diffuser cold on the floor in towards bedroom. He has to take the dive in through the window. Can't even get that far. Citizen locks him out. NaVi, round number 1. And could this be the beginning of the end already, Fluke?
I mean, MnM looked better at the beginning of that. They looked a little bit more together with how their aggression came to be. Maybe, obviously, it's one of those points where, you know, it's a lesser scene and we're potentially going to see them stumble because they looked okay on their push, on their initial push against the kind of split point. We didn't see a huge amount of them on attack, being the nature of a 7-2, but if they can find a little bit more time to learn, if they can find a little bit more leverage against a map that they should, you know, for all intents and purposes, be a bit more familiar of how it likes to be played by NaVi, who knows what they might be able to pull apart from this. Church and Arsenal is where we're going to head to next, all the way down to the basement. And, you know, Echo on the board, Kaid to hold hatches, and a Smoke and Legion combination to make any quick entrances on doors pretty much impossible. Well, let's see how MnM can find the response to this.
Nothing's changed in their attacking lineup.
No.
Exactly the same. I think after we see, probably after round number 3, so round number 4, at the beginning of a new rotation, that's whenever we would expect to see some changes if things aren't going their way. NaVi, though, how do you feel about Echo on this bomb site? Because I don't think he's that strong.
No, I think it's a little bit too narrow for Echo.
It's too CQB.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Close quarter battles.
Okay, thank you.
I've been saying this for as long as we've been casting. You've only just asked me this now.
Oh, I didn't. You know, it's the first time I've had the airtime afterwards to ask. I don't want to interrupt you mid-roll.
Some military lingo.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You see it. I know it from being on Halo helmets, but I've never known why it was called that. You can get customization for them as CQB. Shout out to Halo. Now we're waiting for the push here. The reason that Echo is a bit of a kind of touchy kind of push here is because there's not a huge amount of sightlines to have. Echo is, you know, he's worked great in boxes. He works great in 4 flat walls where you can kind of get it with a bit of space, sure, but you look at the corners, you look at how angled things can get, you look at the inability to really kind of predict the width of this point and the way it can kind of maneuver and be maneuvered around. And you know, here's the kind of tough situation, as you said, in this CQB to be able to make it work.
And generally, whenever the strong position of Echo is in behind the church, that church wall always gets opened up. It's always being drilled into. So if that's where you want to try and play your Echo to try and use the drones, you're not going to be able to sit still enough, are you? You're always going to be cut off. So Echo, in hindsight, isn't the strongest. Perhaps if you're going for like a heavy roam game, you can try and combo the drones as like a kind of roaming capable tool to assist your roamers, to give that information and the support of the stuns. For the most part, just really not worth it. So half the round gone, and again, expected for this bomb site specifically, it takes a really long time for the attackers to get set up and get ready to begin their push. I'm curious to see if they will go for the triple wall, and even more so, is NaVi going to try and go for the impact trick?
Well, Pack is just going to try and creep past the Legion and find his way all the way inside. Looking for anyone on either shoulder, but nothing quite hits apart from an Echo drone, and there we see it kind of pointless, but it doesn't matter. IQ gets torn apart, and Drak accidentally kills Packbull as well.
5v3, NaVi just holding firm. MnM tried to force a way in towards Moto, and they just got shredded whenever they attempted it. I don't get why they didn't have this angle open before they start putting men inside of Moto, because as you can see, it just kind of creates that sanction off, and it gives them those free kills, and that cleans up Kendrew, and that was Pi. He was on top of the jukebox, and a very off-site position to fire through from the man inside of Armory doesn't make happen. 25 seconds, that wall's reinforced as well. He has to make his own rotation. The smoke tosses right in, and Nathan, oh, he gets smoked out. He inhales the toxic fumes. 15 seconds, MnM backs up against the wall.
Well, it's now a 3 versus 1, but it looks much better than their previous jaunt around the round, and now it's just waiting for Dats to try and make some magic, but unfortunately, it doesn't come together. Saves, shuts it down with some pretty great play there, as the smoke just keeping everything under control in this church.
NaVi holding it down. The church, again, another very strong defender bomb site. Wouldn't expect it, though, whenever Maverick and Thermite are both... Maverick, Thermite? Habana and Thermite are both there, and that really does sway things into your advantage. Still, though, the fact that impact tricking Kitchen Hatch is still a thing, that's like the big takeaway for defenders.
Yeah. I know we've already kind of briefly talked about
impact tricking.
We talked about impact tricking and about how some pros believe it shouldn't be capable, shouldn't be in the game.
I think the whole argument is the fact that there are some walls that you can't impact trick, but then there's some that you can.
Yeah.
It's like you either make all walls impact trickable, or you don't.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of takeoff, isn't it? And impact tricking actually didn't happen until this map first got released. You remember back on Jacuzzi walls where you could shoot open the top of that?
Yep.
That's whenever this started, with this map. All because of this. And then Villa kind of came after that, and everything else fell into place.
I remember, yeah, and you used to also see it was around the time people used to thermite trick as well and try and put it on the bottom of the floor instead and try and double down against the impact tricks. It was a big kind of explosive moment where everything kind of shifted slightly.
And then Maverick happened.
And then Maverick happened. But it's still a skill. That's the thing about impact tricking is it's not the hardest thing to pull off in the world, but it's not instantly easy either.
We've seen some people miss it.
Yeah.
And some pretty crucial misses as well.
Yeah.
It is a big hit or miss moment.
Are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse.
Like how many times have we seen someone miss an impact trick, the wall gets open, they get killed straight off the rip?
Exactly. It's one of those things where if you're prepared, whether hit or miss, and you bet they'll never miss, and it doesn't, it allows yourself just the ability to kind of respond and get a body out of it as well. Clash is going to hold down inside CC and just keep a big...
I like this, though. I like the pick. I'm a big fan of the Clash. I just think that as Mirror gets banned, it is that roaming Mirror. It is that tool that you can have as that great information gathering tool. What's Citizen up to?
He's just creeping around.
Spending that Japanese money.
He's just in the strip club, like enjoying the peace. Right now, the peace and quiet, you can shoot out the speakers, and he's waiting for them to come. And this is what Citizen does, is he waits, and then he strikes at a situation and at a moment where he can be absolutely phenomenal, and this is all he needs. And they're giving him, and we've already talked about what you shouldn't give NaVi, what you shouldn't give Citizen is this much time and comfort.
To be fair, he's not really doing much, because nobody is towards that side he's trying to pressure. Everybody's towards like the rooftop, in towards construction. That's another thing MnM like to pressure, is construction side. They open up the main breach, and then they rotate round. So it is a really nice skill to have, to be able to split push. Not a lot of teams go for it, but on a map which does kind of revolve around the two main breaches, and it creates those massive gaps in the wall where you can cut off rotations and flanks, makes a lot of sense. But as long as Kendrick's still alive, given this information, it's going to be tough for MnM to break him down, and they have no Sophia. He's there to stay.
Yeah. Well, Citizen has finally started to make his way a little bit closer to the firefight, and Echo has eyes across. They're just using that in place of where we've seen, well, Maestro usually, to have the camera on the back wall and allow yourself to know when the push is coming. Double that information down towards your Clash, towards your Smoke especially, and you can really keep them at arm's length. Either way, Kendrew is still alive and still causing a problem, has the eyes and, well, the zaps to keep that window under control, and they just can't seem to find a way inside.
Kendrew still trying to keep him at bay, but MnM, they have taken the aggressive approach, and Citizen, he's full flashed. Oh, but Pi has saved him a 1v2, and Kendrew and Citizen. That's just Kendrew. The Clash has to pull off the clutch. He has the diffuser. Just has to keep Packbull at bay. Packbull all down to him. The Northern Irish lad has to make this happen. He's going full sprint. Here comes the Bikini. Switches around, and Packbull, he's toying with him. Oh, Kenny, he pulls off the Clash.
The move, the maneuver that shows not only confidence and skill, but just how good of a mood you're in. Kenny, pulling off a cheeky bikini.
Yes. Wow.
Wow. Wow, indeed. 3-0. 3-0, they find themselves sitting now, and, they're still comfortable, they're still confident, they're still in a good mood. Nook, who was banned previously.
Oh, Nathan's gonna be crouch walking.
Watch out for the crouch walk of Nathan as he makes his way. Let's see if he can prove why that was a particular ban in the previous map. No, in fact, he won't. He's going to bait it out, bait the crouch walk, and bring Hibana instead. Keep up with the double hard destruction.
It's like the swiper, no swiping thing, isn't it? It's like Nathan, no crouch walking.
Yeah, you've got to limit him somehow. Just remove the operator. It's like when people used to...
And the thing is, he denies him crouch walking. He denies it. Well, boy, have I got news for you.
To be fair, it's quite a nice thing being target banned by Navi.
Yes.
I think that's quite an accolade to have.
And he goes, oh, but we don't even play Nook and Consulate. Yeah, sure, bud.
Well, either way, 3-0. Navi looking better and better and bigger as the rounds go on, and they've never really been stressed. I think it's a fair thing to say. Obviously, the first round and the first time round on this gym, they did lose the opening body, and then it was down to, well, Kendrew dug in that little showers corner to be able to keep a lot of control across both the sightlines, both the point, and MnM hit a little bit of a hard wall in Kendrew. I guess it's seeing if they can find the trade there, find the body, find the response, and find themselves getting their first point on the board in this clubhouse.
So NaVi do have now an extension in towards Cash. Didn't do this last time though. They are changing things up, not giving, I think, MnM that same flexibility to allow them just to freely move around the map. MnM, they have that dictative type of play, so putting a little bit of pressure does make them not only waste time, but also utility is like the main thing they want to get rid of, because there was a heck of utility being used by MnM the last time trying to fight against NaVi. So NaVi definitely take the more aggressive standpoint.
Well, Dats is looking to try and find an angle quick here, and Jiggle peeks all for his might to get in, but no one is wide peeking. However, actually I say that, Nello swings the other side and gets dropped from the cover on the balcony itself and is now down, but they might not be aware of that. They're covering as many angles and the pings are coming out. There's also a body in the top of Garage, I believe, ready to try and close down on the backside. I could have been wrong about that, but it seems like they're just not aware that he's quite down inside. Kendrew, in the meantime, finds Stats, and that was the side, and there's the IQ, and Kendrew with a double before he gets shut down from the catwalk.
Still a 3v3 because Nello was in no position to get picked up. So could go either way. Up in the air still, hard breachers there along with the Thatcher, so they can try and counter any bandit charges that Citizen is left lying around. So they've got their cash from control, but that's it. Nothing else. Junker, he's been down trying to peek in towards the bedroom window, I suppose, and down but not out. I'm sure the pickup will come in from Drac. I wonder if anybody's going to go for the jump out.
Well, no bites just yet. Pi is...
He's eyeing it up.
He's tempted, but he's not actually going to take the bite just yet. Worried about the angle being held. However, Citizen doesn't mind as he finds one. Drac gets the trade and is low health, as is Jonker against pretty much full health saves and definitely full health Pi. With only 40 seconds, they can't really come up with a plan A and a plan B. Whatever they do, they've got to do it, and they've got to make sure it sticks. Heading over, potentially going to double down on the Jacuzzi side, but they're not even letting the man begin to get out. Saves, who has been such a force today, is, well, I was going to say ready to lock it out, but suddenly we're in a 1 versus 1 and Pi is there to pick the pieces apart.
That boy Pi, nice cleanup from him. And, well, NaVi 4-0, dominant lead. Pi always had a bit of a curse coming into this competition. Looks as if he's finally trying to shake that off. It's NaVi, they're helping him, and yeah, just working out well. I expected this. Don't know about you, Fluke. So I was seeing the maps, I was like, well, that early night.
Yeah, they're very good NaVi maps. And NaVi, obviously, you know, they're a team that never really pulls punches. Sometimes they'll have a bit of a shaky game if they've not quite done their warm-up and if they're still warming up.
Always make it through, though.
But they still always make it through. And then they always just get better and better as a day or a tournament goes on. They're a team that never really slows the roll. And that's a hard thing to deal with in this kind of situation, this kind of environment and tournament, because yeah, you know you're up against a good team, but you're up against the good team that's heated up now, and they're ready and they're raring, and they'll probably take on all comers after this. They don't mind who you are or what caliber you are, they'll smack you back into tier 2.
Back into tier 2. Bit like what they did to Secret. Oh wait, sorry, BDS did that. Oh wait, sorry, Force did that.
Just going to let that hang for a little bit.
Yep, just let it steam.
4-0. Now we sit on NaVi. 2 more rounds to put themselves on the split. And, well, it's looking like it's going to be a 6-0 split. They're very, very good so far in this clubhouse. MnM, as we said before, it's kind of the same problems. They're slow and steady, yes. that play style works. It works fantastically against a huge amount of teams, but NaVi aren't one of those teams. NaVi respond best against teams like this, against these slow and steady setup teams. They're able to pick them apart. Strategies, kind of maneuverabilities, rotations, all of it just becomes par for their course. And you've got to kind of think, okay, well, maybe this is where the breakdown is. Maybe this is how support staff and what they can kind of work out. It's hard to get responses to, because to completely change your play style for one enemy is a tough ask. But sometimes big changes might be temporarily necessary.
So Ash has been taken up by MnM, and I think Packbully's got to the stage where, yeah, we need to start doing something. Let's bring in the R4C and try and get things moving. So it will be the basement once more for NaVi. Kendrew's on the vigil. What's he got in store for us? What you got?
I mean, I want to... He did a little bit of aggressive roaming previously,
oh
but Pack
my
doesn't
God.
care about Citizen. The pings came out from Dats. There is the information game working in huge bounds for them. Kenny finds Drac in the meantime, brings it to a 4-4, and at least gets a bit of a response with the Thermite off the board. That's going to make this a bit tougher to push against this point, but Packbull is leaning into this aggressively and pushes round against saves as they're still clearing above. Is it the Vigil? Yes, it is, and he's creeping around inside a room full of cash. What response can you find?
Kendrew still going at it with the SMG-12 in hand. More pings come in, but he's a Vigil. That shouldn't be an issue. Junker has to make this happen, perhaps waiting for another teammate, and he will try and take up the mantle and will find Kendrew. So for the first time now, MnM actually in a commanding lead.
Yeah, 3-2, a minute on the board. Loads and loads of time for them to start formulating their collapse down. Yes, they've lost the Thermite. That is not the biggest loss, though. They still have Hibana. They still have the ability to get open hatches. They still have the ability to push any factor of this site because it's so big, it's so wide, and there's so many doors, windows, and hatches you can open up.
Stay back.
Take your pick right now, MnM.
Trying to move in towards the main stairs. He's opened up the moto hatch, and also they've opened up right in towards the back of Armory. Pi trying to fight against Junker. That is not the best play, and it's cost them MnM. After a great round from Packbull on the Ash, just became a demon. And, well, MnM, they're not going to get swept, but still a lot of work to be done.
4-1. It's not quite over for MnM. They have some groundwork. They have some fire from that previous round, and the pace was good. But they've got to capitalize on it. They can't slow the roll just yet. They have to lean more into this. They adapted their information game a little bit. They made it less reliant and a bit more immediate, and that is how you can respond to what NaVi can do. CCTV and Cash is where we're going to swing round to. Not going to double down on the basement point. Instead, going to try and opt for this instead. And, well, this was again very good from them. With the clash, however, is the change. They were very aggressive with that last time, and now they're not going to bring her at all.
Okay, NaVi. Last round, can you make it a 5-1 split and definitely give you that commanding lead going into the second half of things? Pi on the Echo. Curious to see how MnM will kind of change their playstyles now, seeing what NaVi had. Because NaVi they were just kind of lurking in the darkness, weren't they? They were just kind of waiting for their opportune moment. Again, granted it was Kendrew of the Clash.
5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Who made that round happen.
I think that's the kind of thing about it, is NaVi, they said they had some strategies. They said they had some stuff up their sleeve and they wanted to be able to utilize it in this game, and, well, they're bringing them. They're swapping it around. They're changing up the clash, changing up for what was a very integral part of their previous hold and what really kind of fractured MnM's hopes and dreams. They've opted for a change. They're not going to bring it this time. They're going to be a bit more aggressive on this wall. Pi is holding inside Garage with the Echo. As we said, a role that you often see Maestro doubling down cameras and ACOGs. A wonderful pairing in that big old firefight across the top. But, you know, that is what it's here for. It's not really your plant denial too often on this point because it's such a violent trade when you're actually trying to get in and get the diffuser down. Usually, if you're going for that kind of plant denial, you'll take a C4 and head somewhere off site. However, Kendrew, he's waiting for this. He's waiting for the Thermite charge, for the information, and he's going to try and burn it off.
Oh, but he's fell into the trap. Great execution there of being able to open up the wall from below. Kendrew gives himself away. So MnM being able to use that from below with the Sophia. And yeah, just simple enough. Kenny, you're smarter than that. You shouldn't go for that one.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there, but how many times have we seen Bandits suffer that fate? And this is a wall where there's so many different ways to get it open. It's a really, it's close to an impossible trick at this point. Kaid can do it. Kaid has a bit of safety, and we've seen it been done by Kaid earlier today. It's harder to pull off, sure, but it can be done.
The only time that wall is really impenetrable if you're against a band is if you're solo queue.
Yeah, and that's it. And then that's the kind of nightmare there. And that's the thing about it is, you know, you've got below, as we saw. You've also got garage. You've also got the window just behind you. Capital's off the ball, but it doesn't really matter. You've got just so many nightmare problems for that. Please, if you somehow find yourself stacked against a full 5 stack of this caliber, do not try to bandit trick that wall.
Flank, though, trying to be initiated. MnM, they're just weary off it, taking their time. Again, this split kind of push where they open up both walls and towards the construction as well. And Citizen, he's the first man to bite back against MnM, takes a chunk out of the marshmallow and will try and get some more. He likes the taste of it. Nathan still probing the bomb site, just cautious of someone in behind A. Packbull does put down saves, but there is still that roamer. Still that roamer. It's going to be the Echo. Citizen again. Nathan gone. 3v3, 30 seconds to go. Draki's been full flash by himself as he's in construction. That's holding off the cross. Drak, you've seen that crossover. The ping comes in, and that's a dead Citizen.
Well, they're trying to get the diffuser down. Going to try and do it just as cold as they can. They don't really have the option to. Swings round, has to find the body. They do. Drak on the triple kill, but he's the one carrying the diffuser, and MnM have the cover, have themselves a second round, and find themselves swinging over to their defensive half with a little bit more wind in their sails.
Losing Kenny very early on never really helps you in that scenario against a very set team that we know about. Personally, if I was NaVi there, I would have liked to see a C4 from below in that scenario. We know MnM, they're set in their playstyles. They do the same thing. They open up breach, they rotate over, they get construction open. If you can C4 those guys through the hatch and construction, you don't have to worry about that. We already seen from today what I'm with the boys were doing. Vexed, he was able to play below, used the hatch, picked off the Thermite, and that caused a lot of issues for that team.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about it is MnM, okay, I know I've kind of said they need to be a bit quicker, they need to be a bit pacier. And they are. They're being a lot more responsive to what NaVi are doing, but they're also doing it with that kind of conversation that they've had before, with that information balance that has worked for them so brilliantly previously. Able to close down on moments like that, knowing they have the man advantage and utilizing and capitalizing upon that. It's like the mistakes that we saw around with the boys making was they didn't capitalize upon that enough with enough communication. MnM are doing really, really well at this, and they're able to find these 2 rounds before the turn of the half, before we start to find, you know, a little bit more kind of continuity in this game. Otherwise, setting themselves up to hold CCTV cache as their first point. And their defenses, they were pretty good the last time we were around this map.
NaVi, how does their attack differ compared to what MnM had? Only real difference is that Citizen is on a Nomad rather than an IQ. That's like really the only difference that we're seeing. Perhaps they kind of know that Echo isn't as strong on this map compared to the others, and they don't really have to worry about that feature. But still, I think having the Nomad perhaps to kind of cut off rotations and flanks would help quite a bit. Whenever we know Nathan, he's a very aggressive player. Whenever he sees an opportune moment, he will take that. He'll pounce at the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and that's one of the kind of things, it's like one of those grand pillars of Siege, is what you want. You want, obviously, good aim, you want good kind of coordination, but good game sense, the ability to react quickly to those moments. You know, it's the best way of doing it. Saves and pie, and saves again, find body after body of MnM, and all of a sudden, with 2 minutes left on the clock, there's only 2 players left.
He just solo cleared blue against 2 players by himself. That is something that should never happen, yet it has. So now Nathan and Dats, they have to pull off a miraculous clutch, and there's that aggression from Nathan, very well read by the players of NaVi. A preempted claymore there from Kendrew and Dats. They know exactly where he is. He's trapped in Catwalk. No way does he ever get out of this one. A flawless for NaVi to kick things off in their attack.
5-2. Na'Vi find themselves in a bit of a better position. Yet again, they've started to put rounds under their belt, and they creep ever closer to making it their third trophy lifted on this stage. That was a very good attack as well. As we saw, the man solo cleared blue, but at the same time, they had everything set up to do everything that they needed to. If I was MnM, I wouldn't return to that point. I would head maybe down to the church and, well, they are, get themselves a little bit more solidity in the map design, keep the movement fresh, and try and find some of the momentum you had before.
MnM, they head towards their church defense, so completely scrapping a horrific cash room defense towards the more favorable bomb site. How will they respond, Fluke? 2 rounds away for Navi getting the treble.
I mean, for Navi, it's just seemed so...
3 Prem titles in a year.
It's unbelievable to see. I think it's never happened before in any of the Prem. You know, there's not many teams that can so consistently find trophies, and you've got to realize the journey of this team as well. And where they kind of started was here, was in this league. And they've consistently been here playing to this exceptionally high caliber time and time again. In the meantime, playing in many other leagues and many other tournaments and many other shows with just ever-growing kind of clarity, coordination, violence and momentum, and it's all just culminating in trophy after trophy. And it's, you know, it's tough, as we said. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's a tough fight to take, but at the same time, nobody can take this fight right now.
They care about this league so much. Whenever, of course, what happened with Doki, they had to pick up a 5th. They specifically went out and it had to be a British player, because that's how much they wanted. They needed Pi to play, of course, in the League 3 out of 5 rule. They went out and searched for a British player. They could have had any other FA. You think about all the German, French players out there that they could have had. But no, they go for the British because they want this league.
Yeah, and it shows, because this league, the teams that we've started to get and the teams that are being a bit more solid, obviously every league says every season this is the toughest season. And it's true for a lot of leagues, but what we've seen from our region is we've really been solidly making our way across a lot of other leagues and a lot of other stages. And I think it's only a matter of time before we see MnM finding themselves in other leagues as well.
Minute 45. Still, so much time for Navi. This is Clubhouse at the end of the day. Clubhouse basement. You can take... You could probably have like a siesta midway through, couldn't you, Fluke?
Just relax.
You ever have wee siesta?
I haven't had one for a while. I don't think I'm due one. Isn't that what Des wanted for his birthday? Just
a siesta.
A siesta.
Just to go to sleep.
Des's quinceañera.
Well, he shouldn't have been up partying at 4 o'clock in the morning last night, should he?
He's an animal.
It's not our problem. Oh my word. MnM, they've lost their first man. Nathan is gone. That's a C4 more importantly. That would be great denial in the late game. Dats has to also be cautious because he is a measly 5 HP right now. And Navi, they're trying to go for their old tried and trusted triple wall take. Tried to fire on through and did find one, but still the refrag's there. Packbull has the shotgun primed and ready. Let's see if he can recreate some of the magic that he did against Fierce. And That's still holding on for dear life. Jonka has to be careful, though. He's in blue. The Nomad breathing down his neck. Kendry firing through 1v2 Jonka. They know exactly where the Jaeger is, and that's an easy cleanup for Citizen. 1 round, map point, match point, championship point for NaVi.
Well, they have a couple of options on where they can go on their defense, in that they have every option on where they can go on their defense, and so far the two familiar big points, neither has looked consistent or comfortable. Church is where they're going to opt for, and yeah, it was probably better statistically than their hold on the previous one, but you've got to show what you've learned, and then you've got to somehow find a way to repeat it for another 4 rounds. And, you know, is Ella going to be enough? I know for demo it might be, but, well, who knows how this can kind of go. Double Hard Destruction, a consistent pick on this map, and it just makes pure sense. They've got the castle to try and stem the roll and stem the flow of NaVi. Curious, they're actually going to do the backside of Oil Pit and then rotate round the top, get a little bit more control over there as well. With the drones keeping an eye, though, it's to get those hatches, and there goes Pi's drone.
Whenever all else fails, the Titan Killer is your best friend.
I mean, hey, if there's a gun that can carry you through this until it gets nerfed, the Titan Killer might be one of them.
Love me some Titan Killer.
It's the first time I've called it that.
What, the Titan Killer?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
It's the first time I said it on purpose, at least. Then.
We love the Titan Killer.
Maybe you've just infected me. But, you know, Dats is looking for some aggression.
Do it. Take the chance.
Go in, swinging, pre-firing and pop in. Nobody catches anybody. Though
either make the play or the play makes you.
Yeah. You die a hero.
I might get that on my tombstone.
Okay. Are you planning this early, or?
So, everything else comes up. In the meantime, Michael, wide swinging with a shotgun. NaVi are trying to finish this quick with a dirt push.
Yeah, well, Pack is all down to slowing it down, and being able to get that opener there is going to be the most important moment for this round so far. They have the other shotgun not far away, but Citizen has Pack Bull. They're in this moment, they're clearing in, and there's the double kill! Finds two, looks for the third, can't quite get it, but there is the cover on the side. MnM find the round from the ashes of almost nothing and bring it back in their favor.
So that was a great display of why we don't rush dirt. So NaVi, all of a sudden, they're trolling.
They suffered. Paid a price.
Don't know why they did that. I really don't.
Well, I
think they wanted to go out in style, didn't they?
Yeah, they wanted to go out on a rush. They wanted to go out
big bang.
Heated. Now it's like, okay, that's happened. We're heading to CCTV now. Let's probably be a little bit more structured in this. However, good play from MnM, and especially the smoke for that. Not only to obviously get the opening frag by literally blowing a man through a wall further back than anything, but then also covering it with the smoke, allowing the Ela to double down, allowing the rotation and the read to go, well, we've got to cover this, and just having that coordination to be able to lock that down. That is the importance of smoke, if you also need a demonstration of that.
So, Cash Room and CCTV. Could this be the final hold for MnM? Could this be last time we see them play here today? NaVi still on that match point. This has been a bomb site that it's kind of been a bit easier, hasn't it, for them? It was pretty simple. Last time they kind of had this going for them, and I believe it was a flawless to kick things off.
Yeah, it was a big opener. It was just... It was confident. They were dancing with drones against the last man who was trying to hold his way onto the top of Catwalk, and from that point onwards, well, it just became part of the course for them. Able to find body after body and shut them all down. Let's see if MnM can find a bit of a response here, but I'm assuming NaVi aren't going to try the same little sneaky shenanigans that they just ran on the previous 5-man rush push. You can see their balance. They're measuring everything up. They're making sure they know, because, yeah, you know, that was a bit of a fun round. They wanted to go out on a bang, but now they're happy to just go out on the monument that they have built for themselves. They're ready, they're raring, they're stopping the trick, and the wall is now open.
So there's the first part done, is create that beachhead, make sure you can sanction off anybody who wants to try and linger in towards the security. That's now, he is essentially trapped. He is stuck in Catwalk. He cannot get back home to where he wants to be. So it's go big or go home for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and, you know, it's one of those things. It's why you put a doc there, because he can keep himself healed up. He doesn't, at this point, really need anybody else to be there, because he can heal himself up, he can keep himself going, he can keep finding bodies and keep finding firefights. He's got everything a man needs to survive in that kind of situation.
Okay, and he drops the diffuser at the breach, just to make sure that whenever, I'm guessing he's trying to rotate in towards construction and open up that wall as well. If he does get caught out, it's not going to be in like a really bad position. Saves though, just repelling, just toying with the angles does eliminate Nathan, who, again, that aggressive nature off the bandit. Kendra has to be careful though, because if they lose him, then they lose their main planter. Zed rotates off, and the matching construction is where they want to try and go for. And right now, MnM, they are in no position to stop that from happening.
Well, there's a body going down, and another one. Citizen finds Drac on the far side. Now it's a matter of just trying to collapse down against the point and get the diffuser down, and Kendrew makes it ever closer. Packbull goes in close. The pings are coming out on the far side, and there it is! NaVi find themselves on the treble. Their reach is unstoppable, their rise unbelievable, and their role is unending. Rightfully, unquestionably, the best team in this region and maybe the world. NaVi, go and get another trophy.
NaVi, as expected, but hey, look, MnM smiles. That sums it up. They came here, they done their first land, second place to Pro League champions. No matter what happens, those guys should be proud of themselves, pick themselves up. Kendrew, hear me, give them a massive Kenny hug for me. Give them a hug, because they deserve it. Analyst Desk, that was incredible. Bring it down for us, boys. Get going.
The boys have said it themselves enough there, I think. An incredible final. NaVi showing the world once again why they are, at this moment in time, the best in the world. And MnM, we cannot take it away from them. Giving them a challenge, but there is definitely that separation of why you can see they're such a great team.
Yeah, there's definitely still a bit of a skill gap there for MnM to catch up with, but as we've all said throughout the day, you know, MnM has done a great job of getting to that point, and they should be really proud of themselves for what they've been able to achieve in their first season of Prem, and I just hope that we see them back again next time.
They've got so much to take away, not just from today, but from the Premiership season in general. They've surprised everybody, come through, top the table, and as we keep saying, and I sort of keep saying it because I'm hoping they're going to watch the stream back and listen to it, please just stick together, lads. Keep working, keep grafting. You've got the skills, you've got the knowledge. It's just about building the experience now and pushing forward.
Revisiting back to week one, the team names that we had in our mind of who we would see ahead of MnM. Teams like Fierce, even I'm with the boys with all their experience, we all thought they'd be here ahead of them, but here MnM are in the finals. Yes, down 0-2, but I think losing 0-2 to the best team in the world is definitely not going to be a huge thing to go against you on your record, and I agree with you. Sticking together, working at it is probably the best thing I think they can do for themselves now, as there is a lot of talent in this team. We said at the start, players like Dats, players like Drak, looking very, very solid, and we've seen that more and more throughout the series. Packball, by the way, a new shotgun hero in the making.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what hit him in dirt there when he moved across. It was just like, yeah, here I am. But yeah, great plays from so many individuals on MnM. They all had the moments there, important moments as well. Nathan, for me, I think, you know, I try not to point out the too obvious. One of the things for me that Nathan, you might not have picked up on, was how importantly timed a lot of his kills were. They'd just go down 5-4, 5-3, and then in had stepped Nathan. 4-3, 3-all, and it just kept bringing that man count back into reign.
Yeah, without a doubt, and that's something that you really need in a team, is someone that can identify the time to play that aggressive and to get up there and to get the kills when it counts, and balance that out with knowing when to back off and when to just take your time and, you know, play the clock a little bit more. That's what we've seen from MnM tonight. We've seen them do very good things, but again, NaVi just edging it in the end. It was to be expected. I think that was something that, you know, we were expecting to happen, but you know, still heads held high for MnM.
They absolutely were, and for the last time today, we are going to throw it over to Ian on the stage for an interview with your winners in NaVi.
Yes, Des. It's just incredible, isn't it? I mean, the one word that comes to my mind is unstoppable. Now, before I speak to these guys, can we just, from the Manchester crowd, we appreciate NaVi. Can we give a round of applause to these men right here, right now, please? Wow! Well, like I said, keep that applause going. Like I said, the one word that came to my mind was unstoppable. I want you guys to sum up how you're feeling in one word.
Happy.
Happy.
Good.
Good.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's good.
It's good.
Pretty sick.
Pretty sick.
Another day at the office.
Another day at the office. I said one word, Kendrew. One word. Look, you guys are absolutely different gravy. You showed it in Japan. You showed it here again. 3 in a row. Sum up how you're feeling right now.
It just feels good to be the best team in the UK again.
How can you ever be stopped?
I mean, they stopped us on the online season. They just got to bring that onto the land stage. It's fine.
Well, I think that you are arguably, would you say that you are the best team in the world?
Not yet. We've still got Titans like Empire and G2 to be invitational if they qualify. You know, we got to win invitationals first.
MnM Gaming put up an incredible fight. Look, if they want to achieve what you guys have achieved in the future, what advice would you give them?
Just carry on grinding. They're in the same team speak as us at home, and they're always grinding up late, doing. That's what we were saying before. It's that they're always putting in the effort, and if they carry on, then they could be here.
I've got to ask it, what is next for NaVi?
Invitationals, Pro League. That's pretty much it.
Let's have it. I can't keep you waiting any longer. Are you ready to lift that trophy? Take it away, boys. Make some noise for your ESL Premiership champions, NaVi! One. Hey. Hey. Because